TIFU. Driving 40 miles on snowy roads to meet a Facebook girl. Important preface. I am drive the 1998 Honda Civic from the trailer park to Walmart to buy a $5 Wolf t-shirt poor. A few years ago, I worked about 25 hours a week, humping the grill at McDonald's in a frighteningly small town. When I wasn't on the clock, I was free to drink and mingle with the bottom of the social ladder of rural America. They were actually some of the nicest people I've ever met. This was a self-destructive period in my life. For entertainment, I'd pass the day drinking and crawling through Facebook for entertainment drama. There isn't much more to do when you live in the trailer park in the middle of a cornfield in the Midwest, especially when your weed guy is out of town. I ended up friend requesting a somewhat older girl who was, well, trashy hot. Like a trailer park Emma Watson with stress lines on her face, she seemed open. We exchanged pleasantries, which rapidly escalated to us flirting because we were both horny. We flirted for about 2 hours, which escalated to sexting. Through the haze of alcohol and horniness, I was certain that this was the most beautiful woman this side of the trailer park, and I had scored big. We scrambled to make a time to meet up and chill. Trailer Emma says, "I'm ready for you now." Now that got my warrior to stand at attention. There was one problem though. She lived 40 miles away across the county line, and snow was in the forecast. My poor little beater car did not handle snow well, but my dick had been crying out for this woman for hours now, so I said fuck it. Took a minute to freshen up in my dirty little bathroom and hopped in the car. Quarter of a tank. That should be enough. What followed was a long, windy drive through the dark on ugly back roads. My dick ached from being hard for so long. Visions of passionately porking this woman flashed through my mind. It took a while to find her house. Trailer. It was in a small trailer park, basically in the middle of nowhere, way in the back. I had to crawl through the rows of dirty single wides, headlights on high, feeling intrusive and out of place. It seemed that the farther I creeped, the more rundown the trailers became. By the time I got to the back, I was passing piles of siding and glass. I finally get to her trailer. It's not great. But my dick brain is fixated on the night of passion that surely lays before me. Trailer Emma answers the door. She used a much nicer picture on Facebook. Even enwrapped in a state of almost spiritual horniness, I could tell she had, well, aged. When she smiled, I noticed several of her teeth were black. My stomach clenched a little. I do not do well with bad teeth. But the show must go on. She took me in and briefly pointed out her kids. There were 3 small, dirty-looking children huddled around an old TV. I remember her mentioning being a mom, but 3 kids was a little much, plus they didn't look cared for. By this point, a small part of me had already decided that an entire night of lovemaking was off the menu, that I would bail when the fireworks were over, but not before some action. I still thought this girl was hot as long as she kept her mouth closed. She pulled me into her bedroom, which had an entire litter of kittens staring at me in the corner, and started making out with me. Her kisses were way too sloppy and wet. This whole experience was going downhill pretty fast. My spirit was torn in two. Part of me wanted to bail. The dirtiness, her physical appearance, the creepy trailer park, the goddamn kittens watching me. But the other part of me wanted to rip this woman's clothes off and fuck her till her pussy retired and moved to an assisted living facility. My little head won. I pushed her against the wall and started kissing her neck. I did my best to avoid her nasty mouth, though she kept trying to push it into my face. Within moments, she was naked on the bed, legs spread, waiting for my stiff magic wand. This is what I had wanted, what I had been waiting for. A night of passionate love-making with a questionable but moderately attractive Facebook mom. So I thrust my loins forth, and came immediately with a shudder and a groan. "You came now?" Trailer, Emma said in a disappointed voice that still haunts my dreams. I guess being aroused for 4 hours can often result in sperm school being let out early. Now, I'm just a man. This has happened before. Normally, I'd take a few minutes to recharge my batteries and get back to work, which is what I would have done had I not been experiencing the singularly worst episode of post-nut clarity regret that I ever had in my entire life. Everything hit me at once. Being far from home, at night, in a strange trailer park, her dirty, sad-looking kids in the other room, her meth mouth, her emaciated frame clinging to a pair of obviously fake boobs, It was like the existential dread paranoia from weed, except it came out of my dick. Then, I noticed the window. Remember how I said snow was in the forecast? Well, there it was, fluttering past the outside light like a ghostly interpretive dance of, "Your ass ain't going home." I immediately hopped up and tried to emit some kind of plausible excuse for leaving. I don't even remember what I said. I immediately hopped up and tried to emit some kind of plausible excuse for leaving. I don't even remember what I said. I do remember her sitting on the bed and giving me a blank stare as I fumbled over words. I felt like the dumbest man in the world. I just wanted to disappear. I quickly threw my clothes on and stumbled out the door without a goodbye. I start my beater car and try to reverse, but I don't move. My bald tires spin in the mix of slush and mud. I start to panic. I gently depress the accelerator as visions of spending the night with this weird lady and her kids dance in my head. By a miracle of God, the car lurches backwards. I laugh hysterically with relief. The drive home was long, slow, and dangerous. The snow hurtled past my windshield in silence, my chest heavy with embarrassment and regret. What in the blue fuck was I thinking? Driving 40 miles in the snow to fuck a stranger in a strange place? I couldn't wait to get home and forget these awful memories in a haze of pot and PBR. The first thing I did when I got home was log into Facebook to block my lover. Thankfully, she already had. Then I went to my room and got so drunk. Everything was better till I woke with a fever. Because I had chlamydia. Because I went in on a strange woman bareback. I had to call my gram to pick me up in her nicer vehicle and take me to the clinic an hour away. She grilled me the whole time about why I was going, and I had to lie and say I had a sore throat. The antibiotics they gave me ended up making me incredibly sick, so I had to go to the clinic a few days later for a big shot. I missed 4 days of work and almost didn't make rent. So, I traded about 3 seconds of sexual enjoyment for an infected dick, a tiny paycheck, a pissed-off gram, and a lifetime of embarrassing memories. I did talk to a social worker at the clinic about Trailer Emma and my concerns about her kids. Not sure what happened after that, but she said she'd look into it. My life is a little less self-destructive these days. I moved to a better town, got a better job, and settled down with a girl. But I will never forget my misadventure with that woman. The memory of revving the engine and not moving is particularly haunting. I may have actually been traumatized a little.